discuss first law for open system. Last class we discussed problems on closed system, right? So what is meant by open system? Can anyone? What is open system?
Energy mass enters.
Open system means both mass and energy
Mass and energy flows.
can cross the
Will
boundary.
vary.
Mass
Right.
and energy can cross the boundary of a system. That is called open system, right? And first we'll discuss what is continuity equation. So continuity equation states that the mass flow rate is constant irrespective of the cross section. Okay, so the mass flow rate is constant. That is called continuity equation. Okay, now I will give one small example. Let us consider right. So let us consider a passage. Let converging passage. Converging passage, and the fluid is entering from left hand. Let us say this is the axis. The fluid is entering from the left hand and it is leaving from the right hand. So let us say this is the inlet of the section and this is the outlet of the section. Okay, and I have two openings here. I have two openings here, and let us say I am collecting water from the two openings. I am collecting the water from two openings. Okay, so let us say now the fluid is flowing here. Now my question is, in a given time, let us say I have 1 minute time. In a given time, where I will collect more water, at opening 1 or opening 2. I am collecting water, and for a given time 1 minute, where the volume of the water will be more. Sorry. Where I will get more water? I have two openings like this. One is here and one is here. Please answer anyone.
Think 2.
Sorry?
2. Wall number 2.
Wall number 2. Okay. Any other? This is wall number 2. This is wall number 1. We are collecting for 1 minute time.
Wall number 1, sir.
Wall 1. Next. Diploma people can answer this. Anybody from diploma? Anybody from diploma
Wall
can
2,
answer?
sir.
Wall 2, right? Yeah. Anybody one?
Sir, from where the water is flowing from larger volume or volume?
Yeah, from here. This is inlet section. This is
Wall
out
1, sir.
1.
1. Yes, sir.
Right now. So I will tell you the volume flow rate. The volume flow rate, we can call it as discharge. Okay, so the volume flow rate or mass flow rate is called a discharge. So the mass of the quantity of fluid, the quantity of the fluid we are collecting at 1 is equal to the quantity of fluid collecting at 2. We will get same quantity of water in a given time. That is due to the conservation of mass. We can say continuity equation. Continuity equation. According to continuity equation, we will get same quantity of water. How it is? How it is? Anyone? So I will open paint because it is getting disturbed. Why the quantity of water is same at two sections? Can anyone answer? At 1 is wrong, at 2 is wrong. At 1 and 2 we will get same quantity. The discharge is same whether it is 1 or 2. So discharge 1 is equals to discharge at 2. Because if you observe the cross section, please observe carefully. If you observe the cross section, the diameter at 1 is greater than the diameter at 2. Agree? Means area 1 is greater than area 2. Means along the length of the pipe, the cross section is decreasing. Along the length of the pipe, the cross section is decreasing. Once the cross section decreases, what happens to the velocity?
Increases.
Jesus, sir.
Less area, it leads to more velocity.
More error.
Once velocity increases, pressure decreases again. Once velocity increases, pressure decreases. Here, if you see the velocity at 1 is V1, velocity at 2 is V2, right? So V2 velocity is greater than V1. Agree? Because of less area. V2 velocity is greater than V1. Therefore, here the area may be less, but velocity is more. At 2, the area of cross section is less, but the velocity is more. Therefore, in a given time, we will get same quantity of water at section 1 and 2. Therefore, discharge 1 is equals to discharge 2. This is called continuity equation. This is called continuity equation. Is it clear? Why the discharge 1 equal to discharge 2? Because of reducing in cross section, that is reducing in the area, the velocity of the flow is increasing. Therefore, in a given time, we will get the same quantity of water. If it is clear, tell me, I'll go to the slide. Very, very important concept. Don't say quantity 1 is more than quantity 2 or discharge 2 is more than
Can you
discharge.
explain again?
Explain again, right? So means if you observe the cross section, the area of cross section at 2, the area of cross section at 2 is less than the area of cross section at 1. Means A2 is less than A1, right? Once the fluid is passing through the narrow passage, what happens to the velocity? The velocity of the flow will increase. Velocity increases. That is the main what we call duty of the nozzle. It acts like a nozzle. The main purpose of nozzle is to accelerate the flow. The main purpose of the nozzle is to accelerate the flow. Means how the velocity is increasing because of reducing in the area. Means whenever the fluid is passing through the narrow passage, its velocity is increasing. Means here let us say because of decrease in the area at 2, the velocity is increased. Therefore, here more area but velocity is less. Here less area but velocity is more. Therefore, at a given time, we will get same discharge at 2 passages. Even if you have one more passage here, Q3, even this is also same discharge. Wherever you collect the water in a given time, you will get the same amount of water. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now continuity equation, right? Now we'll see. Let us consider this is the tube, right? This is the inlet 1 inlet section and outlet section is 2 outlet section is 2. So the fluid is entering here and the fluid is leaving here, right? Now if you see at the inlet, the cross section is less, at the outlet the cross section is more. Okay, the fluid is entering from here and it is leaving from here, right? Let the properties of the fluid at 1 are, let us say area is A, the velocity of the fluid is V. Area is A and the velocity of the fluid at cross section 1 is V. Let us assume L is the length of the pipe. L is the length of the pipe through which the fluid is flowing, right? So automatically when the fluid is passing through the pipe, its properties are going to change. The changes may be due to the cross section or due to the friction, right? So when the fluid is passing through the pipe, so the fluid nearer to the boundary, now this is the boundary of the pipe. The fluid in contact with the boundary of the pipe will exert friction between the wall and the water. Therefore, the velocity of the fluid nearer to the boundary of the pipe is going to decrease. Agree? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? So it means the fluid velocity is decreased due to the friction between the pipe and the fluid. So therefore, the properties will vary. Again, one more reason here is the cross section of area is increasing. Once area increases, the velocity will decrease. Agree here? Here the cross section from inlet to outlet is increased. Once the area increases, velocity will decreases. Okay. So therefore, the area at section 2 is A plus dA, and velocity at section 2 is V plus dV. You can see here, right? Area at inlet is A and velocity is V and density is rho. So density is rho. And in the same way, at the outlet condition, A plus dA is the area. This dA may be either positive or negative. The dA may be either positive or negative. Don't think that let us say V plus dV is written here, but if you observe, if you think technically, the velocity will decrease at the outlet. So, but SAR has written plus dV. Don't think like that. dV may be either positive or negative. dV may be either positive or negative. Okay, so that is the meaning of dV. Let me change the color. Which color will shoot? White. I will take right. Okay, so this dV may be either positive or negative, right? So you know density. Density can be defined as mass per volume, mass by volume. So mass units are kg and volume units are meter cube, right? So this is the density of the fluid entering at 1 rho, and rho plus dA rho is the density of the fluid leaving at the section. Please mute your mics. Is it is okay? The properties at inlet of the section. The properties at inlet section rho A V. Similarly, the properties at the outlet of the section are rho plus d rho, V plus dV, and A plus d rho. Right now I want in a time dt the mass of fluid entering through the section. What is the mass of the fluid entering through the section? Right. So in time dt. Okay. In time dt. Now let us say I can write rho A V dt. So rho into A into V into dt. Yeah, somebody is having problem. Right. Right. So mass of the fluid entering I want. Mass of fluid entering in time dt. Mass of fluid entering in time dt. So usually mass unit should be in kg, right? Na? So we should get mass unit should be in kg, right? So let us say mass entering at 1 is equals to density of fluid at the entry, that is rho, area at entry A, velocity V, time t, dt. Right? So rho into A into V into dt gives the mass of fluid entering at 1. Let me balance the units. So as we know, density units are kg per meter cube, and area units are meter square, velocity units are meters per second, and time units are second. Right now? Now, if you balance the units, meter square and meter will be equal to meter cube, and that and this can be cancelled, and second can be cancelled. Therefore, you left with unit kg. Yes or no? If you want mass per time, if you want mass of fluid per time, then you need to write rho into A into V is sufficient. If you write rho AV, the units you will get in terms of kg per second. If you write rho AV dt, this gives only mass, not per time. Mass is equals to rho AV dt, then units are kg. Very, very, very important. If you are able to balance the units, whatever the problem may be, you can solve easily without any difficulty. Right? Don't by heart any units. Try to find out the units from the formula. Is it is clear? Mass of fluid entering at 1 is equal to rho AV dt. If it is clear, please tell me. I will proceed.
Clear, sir.
Clear. Now mass of fluid leaving I want. Mass of the fluid leaving. Entry is M11. So M22, what M22 denotes? Mass of the fluid leaving from the tube. What is the density at 2? Density at 2 is rho plus d rho, and area at 2 is A plus dA. Volume is V plus dV and dt. This is the mass of the fluid. Yes, mute your mics. This is the mass of the fluid leaving at section 2. Now, if you simplify, just open these brackets. So rho into a rho A plus rho dA, right? Plus A d rho plus d rho dA. So 2 into 2. 2 into 2 terms, how many terms? 4 terms into V plus dV into dt. Let me simplify again. Again 4 terms into 2. 4 into 2, it will be 8 terms, right? So at the same time, I will multiply with the dt also. Rho A V dt, first term, plus rho A dV dt. First term is over. Now rho dA V dt plus rho dA dV dt. Second term is also over. Third term, A d rho V dt plus A d rho dV dt. Third term is over. Now fourth term with these two, d rho dA V dt plus d rho dA dV dt. Total how many terms? 4 into 2, 8 terms would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, please tell me if you have any doubt in this one. If anyone is having doubt, please ask me, or else tell me, okay, I'll proceed.
No, sir.
No, right, good. Now, if you see here, dA is small quantity, dV is small quantity. Agree? dA, dV both are small quantities. So the product of two small quantities will be further small. Let us consider 0.2 into 0.2. What is this value? 0.04. Agree? The product of two small quantities will be further small. Therefore, I can neglect those two quantities. Okay. So where is that? So dV into dt can be neglected, and dA into dt can be neglected, and dA dV dt can be neglected. One second. Rho AV dt. Rho A, rho dA. Is it is correct till now? Please respond.
Sir,
Correct na? Right. First, let me cancel three small quantities: d rho dA dt, dV dt dA, A d rho dV dt, dA dV dt. Then you left with rho AV dt, rho dA. Okay, now let me write remaining quantities. Now you left with rho AV into dt plus rho A dV dt plus rho V dA dt plus AV d rho dt, right? So this is the mass of the fluid leaving 2, 2. Okay, let me check with the PPT. let me complete this right now. So this is the mass of fluid leaving and this is the mass of fluid entering. Now in this passage, what is the mass of fluid accumulated? This is 1, this is 2. Entering minus leaving gives the mass of fluid accumulated within the tube. Yes or no? The mass of fluid accumulated within the tube is equals to the mass entering minus the mass leaving, right? So mass accumulated, the mass dm is equals to mass at 1 minus mass leaving. Okay. Now if you do that, what you will get? What is mass entering? Rho AV dt. Rho AV dt. This is M11 minus M22. M22 rho AV dt plus rho A dV dt plus rho V dA dt plus AV d rho dt. Okay. So what will happen from here? Rho AV dt will be cancelled. Right now. Now what we left? Then minus rho A dV dt minus rho V dA dt minus AV d rho dt is equals to dm by dm only. Dm. Now if you see from these three terms, I can take dt common and take the dt at right side. So therefore I can write dm by dt. Let us say minus dm by dt is equals to, what can I write? Rho A dV plus rho V dA plus AV d rho. Okay, right. So what is mean by steady flow? Anyone? What is mean by steady flow? No
Constant.
change of properties with respect to time. No change of properties with respect to time. Meaning that, let me explain clearly what is steady flow. Let us consider a fluid is flowing through a pipe. The pipe may be, let us say, increase in area as we will, let us say the area is increased. I am measuring temperature at this point initially, let us say at 1, and at 2 also, for example, I am measuring temperature 2. So the temperature recorded by thermometer 1 is T1, the temperature recorded by thermometer 2 is T2. Okay. Now, so first let us consider only first thermometer. Now at that instant of time, let us say now the time is 10:30. At 10:30, I am recording the temperature, let us say 25 degrees centigrade. Now after 10 minutes, let us say at 10:40 also I am recording the temperature. Let us say now the temperature, if the temperature is equal to 25 degree, then I can say that the flow is steady flow. Got the point or not? At one point, we are fixed at one point and we are measuring the properties of the fluid. Irrespective of the time, if the properties are constant, then that flow is called steady flow. Irrespective of the time, if the properties are constant, then I can say that the flow is steady flow. Means not only temperature, you can measure pressure, you can measure velocity, anything you can measure. That type of flow is called steady flow. Right? And we have other different types of the flow, that is called uniform flow. Other different type of flow, we have uniform flow. So steady flow is with respect to time and uniform flow is with respect to distance. With respect to distance means now you consider two thermometers here. Now you consider two thermometers here, T1 and T2. Now at the time 10:30, if T2, now T1 is let us say T1 is equals to T1 is equals to 30 degree and T2 is also 30 degree at time 10:30, let us say. At 10:40, the temperature T1 may be 40, but T2 should be 40. Got the difference between steady flow and uniform flow? Please tell me, very, very important. Steady flow means at a particular, the properties should be same irrespective of the time. Whereas coming to uniform flow, we are measuring at two different positions and those two values should be same. Those two values should be same. At 10:30, they may be 30:30. At 10:40, the values may be changing, but they should be same at two different positions. This type of flow is called uniform flow. Uniform flow relates to the distance, nothing but the position with respect to distance. Whereas coming to steady flow with respect to time. Here T1 may be at 1 meter from the starting, T2 may be at 2 meters from the starting. Though the distance may be different, but the properties should be same. That is called uniform flow. Please respond. If it is okay, then I'll proceed.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right now. Means for steady flow, the change of property, let us say for steady flow, I'm saying dt by dt. Now this is the my temperature, what I am measuring, and this is with respect to time. What can I write? This is dt by dt equal to, for steady flow,
0.
there is 0. Not only temperature. Let us take velocity. dv by dt, small t is time, is equals to 0. dp by dt is equals to 0. For steady flow, change of property with respect to time will be 0. In that fashion, dm by dt can be written as, dm by dt can be written as, tell me.
0.
0. No change of properties with respect to time. Therefore, dm by dt is equals to 0. Therefore, our equation will become, what can I write? Rho a dv plus rho v dA plus av d rho is equals to 0. Clear till now? Please respond. Right. Now divide with
Yes.
mass. Right. Divide with mass. Mass is rho a v on both the sides. Divide with mass on both the sides, right? So that nothing but rho a dv by rho av plus rho v dA by rho av plus av d rho by rho av is equals to 0 by rho into a into v. Now if you simplify, so rho a will be cancelled here, rho a and rho v and av will be, and this is 0 anyhow. So therefore what is left out? So the left out is dv by v plus dA by a plus d rho by rho is equals to 0. Right? So in differential form, we can write d of rho av is equals to 0. I can say rho av is equals to constant, right? So means the mass flow rate is constant, right? So rho units are kg per meter cube, area units are meter square, velocity units are meters per second. So you will get kg per second. The mass flow rate is always constant. Mass flow rate. Why I am calling mass flow rate means with respect to time. With respect to time, the mass flow rate is constant. That is the reason whether the area is less or the area is more, in a given time we will get the same quantity of the water. That is the continuity equation. So clear, right? How to get d rho by a? Here just I written directly, but here I written simplification further. Is it is clear? Please ask me continuity equation.
Is that your
Yes, sir,
assumption that
clear,
you're
sir.
assuming
Which one?
study?
Steady. Yeah, that's what. I'm assuming that the flow is steady.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay.
we are assuming that the flow is steady. When the flow is steady, no change of the properties with respect to time. So therefore,
Yes,
dm by dt will become 0.
yes, thank you.
Okay. Hey, class is not completed. Wait. Okay. Then so therefore we got d rho by rho. Just now I derived, and from in differential form I can write d rho av is 0. Nothing but rho av is equals to constant, right? So density into area into velocity, that is kg per second. You will get the units if you balance. Therefore, the mass of fluid per unit time passing through a section of a tube is always constant. Okay. Now continuation. So therefore, rho av is equals to constant. If you write between two sections, I can write rho 1 a1 v1 is equals to rho 2 a2 v2, right? So what is density? Density is equals to mass by volume. Density is equals to mass by volume. I can written as 1 by volume by mass. So volume per mass is called specific volume, right? So therefore, rho is equals to 1 by specific volume. If you replace density by specific volume, so that is the equation will become a1 v1 by small v1, where v1 is the capital V1 is the velocity, small v1 is the specific volume. Small v1 is the specific volume. So this is the continuity equation in one dimension. In other subjects, now coming to other next, if you go through the heat transfer, okay, or fluid dynamics subjects, you will study continuity equation in 3 dimensions also. Okay, this is one dimensional continuity equation. What is continuity equation? The mass flow rate is constant. The mass flow rate is constant. That is called continuity equation in one dimension. So we can define rho av is equals to constant. If density of the fluid is constant, let us assume if the density of the fluid is constant, let us say same fluid is flowing, then rho is equals to constant. I can say av is equals to constant. Means for two sections, a1 v1 is equals to a2 v2. a1 v1 equal to a2 v2 means, let us say for a passage, if you know velocity at a1, let us say this is 1, this is 2. Section 1, section 2. Let us say you know area 1, area 2. You know velocity of fluid entering at v1. You want to calculate v2. Then by using this equation, we can calculate, right? So a1 by a2 is equals to v2 by v1. From this, by using this equation, we can calculate the velocity of the fluid leaving at 2, 2. Clear? This is the continuity equation. Can I proceed? Right. Now, what is meant by flow process and what is meant by control volume, we will see. Okay, right. So, right now, the flow process means it is a open system. Non-flow process means closed system. We know, right? So, through which the fluid can enter and the fluid can leave from the surface of the system. In addition to that, energy interactions also takes place. That is heat interaction. So, mass is entering, mass is leaving means work. Heat is entering, energy is entering, energy is leaving, nothing but heat. Both heat and work interactions are taking place for a open system. Both heat and work interaction. Whereas coming to closed system, only heat interactions are taking place. Okay. Now, what is meant by control volume? Right now, so control volume means if the boundary is fixed, right, then that is called control volume. Okay. Now you can see an imaginary envelope that is supposed to be exist around the equipment called control surface, and space that bounded is called control volume. Now you can see this dotted line is the control surface, and the space within this one, this is fixed volume. This is called control volume. Okay, right. And it, in contrast to boundary, control surface is fixed in position and does not change in its shape or orientation during the flow process. Okay, so the boundary may be imaginary or real, means the boundary can be moved, but control surface cannot be moved. So I already explained different types of control. Boundary may be either fixed or movable, or it may be either real or imaginary. It may be fixed boundary, or it may be movable boundary. It may be real boundary, or it may be imaginary boundary. I already explained in the first unit. Okay. Now, in contrast to the boundary, the control surface is fixed in position and its shape and orientation. Okay, now you can see this is the open system and this is the inlet and this is the outlet, right? So through which the mass can enter, the mass can leave. Okay, and nothing but work interactions are possible. In the same way, heat interactions also possible. Heat can enter through the control surface and heat can leave the control surface, right? So open system means both heat and work interactions are possible, right? So the difference between the boundary and control surface is boundary may be either imaginary or real, means the boundary can be movable, whereas coming to control surface is fixed in size, right? That is the difference between boundary and control surface. Now, what is flow work and what is flow energy? Okay, now let us assume this is the open system, because we are studying about flow work. This is the open system and we are moving the some mass of the fluid against pressure P, right? So now you can see here the flow work or flow energy refers to the work which a fluid does when it moves in or out of any passage. It is the work required either to push a certain quantity of the fluid in or out of the passage against the existing pressure, right? Now you can see here already inside the pressure is P, we mentioned, and we are pushing the fluid against the pressure. Then the work required is called flow work or flow energy. Okay, so you can clearly hear it is the work required either to push a certain quantity of the fluid in or out of the passage against the existing pressure. Already certain pressure is there, which we are doing the work. That type of work is called flow work. Consider a unit mass of the fluid about to enter the control volume through the cross section area A. So some mass is entering to the cross sectional area A. P is the pressure acting uniformly on the entire cross section. Once you know pressure and area, how to calculate the force? Force is equals to pressure into area. Force is equals to pressure into area. Therefore, the force acting on the element is P into A. P into A is the force acting on the elemental area. Let L is the distance through which the fluid has to be moved. Let us say this fluid has to move from this place to this place. But what is the internal pressure is acting? Internal pressure is acting P. So we need to work against this pressure in order to move the fluid from this point to this point so that it can move the distance L, right? So what is the work done? How to calculate work? Work is equals to force into displacement. So what is the force acting? Pressure into area, and distance we are moving the the fluid L distance. Therefore, P into A into L gives the work required to move the fluid from this point to this point, right? That is equals to P into A into L. What is area into length? Area into length gives the volume. So therefore, P into V is the flow work, right? So A into L is the volume of the fluid which is about to enter the control volume. Therefore, flow work per unit mass. Flow work per unit mass is equals to P into V, where V is the specific volume, because per unit mass I am talking. Otherwise, P into V I can write where V is the volume. This is flow work. But I want per mass. If I write per mass, volume per mass is nothing but specific volume. P into small v is the specific volume. This is called flow work or flow energy. Okay. Now let me discuss what is steady and already discussed, right? So steady flow process means if the fluid properties are constant irrespective of the time. Okay, that same thing is written here. A flow process is said to be steady when the fluid properties at any point of control volume remains constant. The properties remains constant with respect to time. Then the type of flow is called steady flow. Maybe at different cross sections. Maybe at different cross section means only at that particular cross section. Means let us say this is cross section 1, this is cross section 2. Maybe you can measure at 2 at different timings, or you can measure at 1 at different timings. Those values should be same. That is the steady flow, right? Mathematically, For steady flow, it is defined as the change of property dou P, P2 minus P1. So with respect to time should be 0. The change of temperature with respect to time should be 0, right? Means the P1 is equals to P2 and T1 is equals to T2, irrespective of the time. Then that flow is called steady flow. A steady flow is characterized by the following properties or conditions. No change of mass of fluid within the control volume. No, just now I assumed this assumption while deriving the continuity equation. No change, there is no change in the mass of the fluid within the control volume. It means I can write dm is equals to 0. Therefore, dm by dt is also 0. The fluid is uniform in state, composition, velocity at the in and outlet of the controlled volume, right? So the property may be either velocity or composition or anything. Okay. Heat and work interactions at the control surface are at constant rate. For steady flow, heat and work interactions at the control surface are uniform. The state of fluid at any point is same at all times. That is the other property of the steady system, and no change of chemical composition of the fluid within the control volume. And if the properties are changing with respect to time, means let us say D temperature with respect to time is not equal to 0, or change of pressure with respect to time is not equal to 0, then that type of flow is called unsteady flow. Unsteady means the properties are changing with respect to time at a particular point. That is called unsteady flow. Okay, so the steady flow energy equation I'll discuss in the next class. Okay, tell me if you have any doubts so far.